but I've always, kind of wondered one kind of two-part question. One, what it was like to be alive for 9/11, and two, what it was like on 9/12.
I mean, it was surreal to be part of be alive at 9/11, right? At that point, my generation, maybe, maybe your grandparents, they had been through the Vietnam War and some other stuff. Um, but for us, I mean, obviously there was wars but nothing that affected us like that, right? That was on our homeland, and there was even, there was no, like during the Vietnam Wars, there was the protests and stuff like that that your grandparents and that generation went through. But um, that was kind of like the first really big, I don't want to use the word traumatizing event of my generation, and it was just surreal. And then the day after 9/12, I mean, everybody was a red-blooded American, right? It was American flags and just a lot of patriotism and it's unfortunate that we needed something like that tragic to bring that out, but we could definitely use more of that these days. People coming together instead of the separation, right? A lot of separation these days. We could certainly, and I certainly don't want another 9/11 type event to bring us together, but we could certainly use some togetherness and find some common ground and listen. There's always strength in a common enemy, right?
Yeah, I've always heard, right, from people that are old enough to remember 9/11 that it was special to be a part of and see how people came together on 9/12. I guess my question to you is, how do you think we can get back to that and come together as a nation?
We just got to find common ground, right? We got to, and I think the common ground is that we want to be a strong, powerful nation, right? And get back to some of our core principles as a nation, which maybe that's where there's the lack of common ground, right? But um, I don't know that I have those answers. If I had those answers, I think I'd be not sitting in my office talking to you right now. I'd be somewhere else planning to save the world, right? But I think we just need to find some common ground and come together to become a great nation again. Right now we're divided.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just like we kind of talked about it in the last episode of open communication, right? We talked about it more in like a leadership way, but having open conversations with people, you kind of start to realize that maybe you aren't as different from one another as you thought.
Yeah, the problem is we can't, like, there is no open conversation, right? It's all talking points, and people get stuck on their talking points and their labels, right? You're a conservative, you're a liberal, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, and um, if we could just have that open dialogue and find those common grounds and not worry about so much about the talking points, I think we could definitely find some of that common ground. But it just seems to be so hard to do anymore.